started this evening. Call the meeting to order. Let's go through our procedures, our normal reading of what we're going to follow up today. So let's get started. Good evening. This is the regularly scheduled November 14th meeting of the Geneva Planning and Zoning Commission. I am Scott Stocking, Chairman of the Commission. Tonight, for the benefit of those in the audience, I'm joined by Rebecca Holman, Mike Slifka, Anna Mitskill, Tim Moran, Bim Evans, John Mead, and City Planner Matt Busing, and Assistant Planner Jesse Mussey. This evening, the Commission will host a public hearing on Agenda 5A. As Chairman of tonight's meeting, I will guide the public, applicants, and Commission through the public hearing process, which is outlined in the back of the agenda. Please see this page for further details. The Commission will open the public hearing and staff will present a summary of their report. The applicant will then provide an opening statement and a brief overview of the request. Commission members will first have an opportunity to ask questions and make comments, followed by public comment testimony regarding the request. Audience members will be called upon and given an opportunity to comment. We ask that you state your name and when it is your turn to speak. If your comment has already been made and your question has already been asked, it is not necessary to repeat it. We remind members from the public to refrain from veering off topic and direct comments that are relevant to the requests being made. Following the end of public testimony, the applicant will have an opportunity to comprehensively answer questions or respond to any comments made from members of the public. Additional questions or comments may be stated by the Commission. The public hearing may then be closed, followed by Commission deliberation on separate requests. In order to help for the quality of the meeting broadcast, I remind all commissioners to mute themselves except when they are addressing the Commission. Commissioners are also encouraged to state their name prior to speaking, providing a roll call vote to better assist our record keepers, for example, Stocking, yea, nay, or abstain. Okay, pretty straightforward. If you wish to speak or present testimony at tonight's meeting, please stand and raise your right hand so you'll be sworn in. We do this for every meeting, please. Yep. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you. All right. That's pretty simple. All right. Anna, please call the roll.
Mead.
Mead here.
Evans.
Evans here.
Slifka.
Slifka here.
Holloman.
Holloman here.
Mataskill.
Mataskill here.
Moran.
Moran here.
Stocking.
Stocking here. All right. Then the next item on our agenda is approval of the agenda for this evening's meeting.
Moran, move to approve.
Evans second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next item is approval of the minutes of our October 24th, 2024 meeting.
Move to approve the minutes, Slifka.
Mataskill second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Then we'll move directly on to the public hearing. It's item 5A, Kane County Recycling Facility, and we're going to deal with two items this evening. The first is a zoning text amendment to section 11-5A-3 special uses to allow for other governmental buildings not herein listed as a special use in the RR Rural Single Family Residential District. And then to follow on a second item, which is a special use permit for the county electronics recycling facility. The applicant is Kane County and location is 1517 East Fabian Parkway. Matt, the record.
All right, so the contents for this file includes applications for the zoning ordinance text amendment and the special use permit filed by Kane County dated September 25th, 2024. It includes the project narrative for both the zoning ordinance text amendment and special use permit, a legal description of the property, proof of ownership for the property, a site plan and landscape plan, and architectural drawings. We also have the list of property owners within 500 feet of the subject property, the affidavit attesting to the accuracy of the list of property owners within 500 feet, a copy of the letter to all property owners within 500 feet providing notice of the application being filed, a certificate of publication from the Daily Herald for the legal notice that was published on October 30th, 2024 for tonight's public hearing, a copy of the public hearing notice mailed to all property owners within 500 feet, and a staff report from the Community Development Department to the Planning and Zoning Commission dated November 14th, 2024.
All right, thank you very much. And you're going to go through this
Yes.
summary report?
All right, so we'll do a quick kind of overview here of the requests. As we mentioned, there are two of them. The first one being a zoning ordinance text amendment to section 11-5A-3, and that is the special use list in the RR Rural Single Family Residential District. Essentially, what we're looking to do is replace the word municipal with governmental. And then the second request is a special use permit to officially allow the Kane County Recycling Center at this location, which is over at 517 East Fabian Parkway. So a little background on the zoning here. As I just mentioned, the site is located in the RR zoning district. It's surrounded to the north, west, and east by the same district. And then to the south across Fabian Parkway is the city of Batavia, where they have a couple zoning districts. We have the R1L, which is a single family district, and then the R4 multifamily district. Taking a look at the comprehensive plan for Geneva, the site is identified as forest preserve, and then similarly to the north and west, it is also identified as forest preserve. To the east, we have these public and semi-public uses, and then again to the south, we have the city of Batavia, which has identified those uses for residential. So just a brief overview, just to reiterate, so we have the first request is for the zoning ordinance text amendment. Again, it's kind of a formality here. We're looking to replace the word municipal with governmental to allow for Kane County to apply for a special use permit. And then the second request is the actual special use permit, and they are requesting to allow for the existing electronics center to remain in its location, and then they have some proposed changes as well to the site. Based on staff's analysis, we found that all the standards in the zoning ordinance were met. And then we also have the site plan here. I'll let the applicant kind of address the specifics of what they're proposing, but there's a couple modifications to the existing site that they are looking to do. The footprint of the existing facility is going to remain the same, but then we have a couple kind of office, garage spaces, and then some landscaping that will also be added. And then we can leave it up to the applicant.
See how close I need to get to this. Okay. Hi, my name is Claire Ryan. I'm the Kane County Recycling Program Coordinator. I'll walk you through the site plan. At the moment, the only buildings on the site are considered temporary buildings. We have what's called I think it's called a ground floor trailer, which is essentially a shipping container that's been modified into an office. That would be, is a rented item. It would be removed and replaced with it's not exactly, certainly a structure. It's not exactly like a building with a foundation. It would be more like a prefab office. It's very small. We're looking at 14 feet by 34 feet, not very large. It would be mounted into concrete. We're also hoping to add some indoor storage by way of a garage that would be about 24 feet by 24 feet with a 4-foot sheltered overhang on one side. The garage would have two kind of standard size garage doors. We would be using it primarily to park a forklift that's used on the site and as indoor storage for certain materials that are a little bit more sensitive to changes in temperature. We are hoping with the start of implementation of statewide battery and paint, recycling latex paint, to be able to store some of those temporarily in the building so we can participate in those programs. Unfortunately, there would still be, well, not unfortunately, but it's necessary to still have some temporary storage on the site by means of a semi-trailer and a couple of dumpsters. We hope to improve the kind of shielding from view on Fabian by a couple of different landscape buffers, one more kind of, I guess, typical of either a residential or commercial setting with some densely planted probably arbor vitae in the back and some native perennials in front of them. That's what you see on kind of the south side of the property there. And on the east side, we are hoping to work with the Chicago Region Trees Initiative to plant somewhere between 10 and 20 deciduous trees that, it'll take a while for them to grow, but eventually will form a pretty nice native buffer there and, improve the habitat value of the site too. The whole site needs to be repaved. We are expanding the amount of concrete that would be on site to accommodate the buildings and for the forklift to be able to drive around as it does every weekday that we're open without ripping up the asphalt. And we will replace the asphalt, which is in very, very poor condition currently, with new asphalt. We'll be adding a few security features, kind of a yellow post security gate, similar to what you might see at a forest preserve. We're hoping to also add some cameras to the site as well, just to monitor more for staff safety than anything else. Then the parking, we're not actually kind of doing anything there. It's really just an access road that isn't used at all. So probably staff parking would just be right there to allow kind of more room on the site for the customers who are coming in and turning around. I think the only other thing to mention is that there's a chain link fence there. It's probably an artifact of the prior use of the site many years ago as kind of a judicial complex. So we're proposing to remove that because it really no longer serves any purpose and is a bit of an eyesore. It grows a lot of weeds. So yeah, I think the changes we're proposing will both improve the aesthetics and also the function of the site for what we use it for. Just in terms of utilities, there is water that goes out to Fabian. We would be, the black line on there shows we need to extend that water line to the office to provide just basic running water. Unfortunately, sewage poses somewhat of a difficulty. There is a sewage main way far back to the northeast on the property, but we don't know what conditions the laterals are in, but we don't expect they would be in usable condition. So we are proposing to add a very small septic to the site, just enough to accommodate 2 people as an office use, not as a residential use. So it's not a whole lot of use there. And we had electric added to the site when it started as the recycling center. So that won't be an issue, and I believe there's fiber optic out there as well. So have everything else we need.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the commissioners? Yes, ma'am.
Maybe this is just because this is kind of a prefab building and this is the way the material comes, but it looks like it's set up as like a little house with bedroom and living room. It doesn't look like an office.
Yeah, so we kind of, honestly, I chose this design layout for the aesthetic to try and look a lot nicer across the street from what is essentially a residential neighborhood. My understanding from reading the packet is that it does come with appliances, like it would have a fridge and an oven, but it doesn't come with the furniture. So we would basically not be using it as it's shown as a small residence at all. One of the kind of the living area would be office space for one person. And then the kind of private bedroom on, I think it's the left side if you're looking at the schematic, would become just a private office with a door.
Okay.
But there will absolutely not be anyone living on site.
I suspected that might be the case, that, you know, this is just the way it's shown.
Right, yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much, appreciate it.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Slivka, second.
Moved and seconded. Anna, please call the roll.
Mead,
Mead, aye.
Evans,
Evans, aye.
Slivka,
Slivka, aye.
Holloman,
Holloman, aye.
Madaskil,
Madaskil, aye.
Moran,
Moran, aye.
Stocking.
Stocking eye.
As far as discussion, I think that they satisfactorily met all 9 standards, so I'm prepared to make a motion. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for a zoning ordinance text amendment to section 11-5A-3 special use to replace other municipal buildings not herein listed with other governmental buildings not herein listed, subject to the findings of fact contained in the staff report.
Second, Evans?
Moved and seconded. Anna, the roll, please.
Mead,
Mead, aye.
Evans,
Evans, aye.
Slivka,
Slivka, aye.
Holloman,
Holloman, aye.
Madaskil,
Madaskil, aye.
Moran,
Moran, aye.
Stocking.
Stocking.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a second motion for the special use permit to allow a county recycling center in the RR Rural Single Family Residential District, subject to the findings of fact contained in the staff report.
Moran, second.
Moved and seconded. Anna, the roll.
Mead,
Mead, aye.
Evans,
Evans, aye.
Slivka,
Slivka, aye.
Holloman,
Holloman, aye.
Madaskil,
Madaskil, aye.
Moran,
Moran, aye.
Stocking.
Stocking eye. All right, next steps.
Awesome. So their recommendation is going to go to the city council. That'll be the last step. We're looking at a December 2nd city council date. I'll shoot you the info tomorrow, but that's what we're looking at. Thank you.
All right, thank you for the presentation. Appreciate it. Okay.
Those are the same questions we asked at the county board. Wait, that looks like a house. So I was laughing because it's like,
You gotta buy what's available. See ya. Yeah, they work them. Okay, I don't think there's any public here to receive comment, so we're on to other business. Matt, what's going on?
All right, I got a couple updates here on some projects. I think these are the ones that we haven't already been updated on. So we had the 602 McKinley Avenue variation. That one was approved by City Council. We also had, if you guys remember, the Kana Dentistry site plan approval that came before us about a year ago. They haven't done anything. We got that site plan approval extended for another year. So we're looking to hopefully kind of get that project moving as well. And then we also had, this was kind of a bigger one, the 302 River PUD was approved by City Council. If you remember, that was the proposal for townhomes and apartment building, kind of on down River Lane. Correct, yep. And so those are kind of the 3 projects I think that we haven't been updated on. And then the only other thing I have is our next meeting is going to be on December 12th. We have at least one residential variation that's going to be coming before us, maybe a second project, but we'll definitely have the one residential variation. And that's all I got.
Matt, can I ask, you indicated that the site approval was going to be extended for a year. Is there a deadline for those? Is there a fixed?
There's not a fixed deadline. All site plans have the 1-year kind of deadline upon approval, and then they can be extended by City Council if Council so chooses, and if the applicant desires it to be extended.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Got
What's going
a
on?
book recommendation, I usually don't do this, but considering you guys, it's called Key to the City, I don't know, Matt, have you heard about this?
I have not, no.
It's I'll give it, I'll give it to you both, so you can read it next.
Awesome.
But it's about zoning and the importance of zoning in society.
Oh,
It was written by an educator, she's a professor, she's a lawyer, she's an architect,
Huh.
Really good book, I'd recommend it. Sarah
Really?
Bronin, B-R-O-N-I-N.
It's a new book?
It is, it came out a month ago.
Huh,
So I saw it
Okay.
on LinkedIn, I just clicked to remember when it was published, which was about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and
so it goes through the whole history of zoning and
it
how it,
talks about its importance and how it really can affect the health and well-being of its residents and everything. You'll be happy to know that a lot of the stuff they touch and talk about, we're already doing. So it's actually really, it's well-written.
That's great.
It gives both the governmental bodies side, but it also gives like the developer side of things and cost-benefit analysis of different things, and so.
really?
Really, really recommend it. It's a good read, it's an easy read, so
Nonfiction.
it is, yeah. It's really well done.
Is she a planner, or what's her background?
She actually started, she went to, grew up in Texas, and I can't remember if it's Houston. It's a large, Dallas or Houston has no zoning whatsoever.
Yeah, Houston has no zoning.
So she.
Yeah, and you can tell. So-
She grew up there, she was part of the zoning commission in Hartford,
Connecticut?
Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
So she kind of covers a lot of cities. She touches on Chicago, touches on Delray Beach, Florida.
Okay.
Georgetown, a lot of different areas, so.
Cool.
You guys
Awesome.
enjoy it.
Yeah,
All right.
sounds great.
Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it.
Light reading.
Yeah, cool.
It's funny because my wife is at a book club tonight, so it's kind of funny that.
There you go. All right, very good. Anything?
Move to adjourn.
All right, thank you.